Hi, how are you? And welcome back. And we're going to be talking about the astrology, and this time we're going to be talking about the astrology for business. We've got Pluto going direct, and she's going to be joining Saturn in Capricorn, and that's a really good thing because remember, Saturn is actually the planet of business. It's all about getting stuff done and being really hard and fast about how you get things done. And they're in Capricorn. Capricorn is a house of Earth, so that's also about business. And now we've got Pluto, which is about fated change or Kali, moving into and joining Saturn, which is all about planning and strategy and doing and executing, in Capricorn, which is about Earth, and that's about how we go about our life, how we make our living, and those sorts of aspects. What's interesting about Pluto is that there's two things that Pluto will do. One is going to really give you extra push to go ahead and follow that dream and really pursue that thing you want to be doing. And it's going to start to clear the way for you because it is about fate and destiny. But it's also about rebirth. It's about Phoenix. So Phoenix rising. We will have to go through some kind of loss or deliberate shedding of a skin or a perspective before we can actually take up and move with Pluto, because it's all about starting something new and going with that thing that is new. So that's really good news in terms of really starting to push us forward. And what's really nice about that is we've also now got Mercury, which is the planet of communication, moving into Scorpio. Scorpio is about probing and questioning, which is really nice because Saturn wants you to be very sure about what you're doing and wants you to double check and check everything. And Mercury is the planet of communication. So this is a good time if you've got some questions about your business or you're not sure what to do or from a career perspective. It's a good time just to be out there asking questions of people. Sometimes getting information and networking with people is really asking other people about their business and how well they're going and getting that information. It's not always just about talking about what you do. I mean, that's important. But we've moved on from that to now being really interested in what other people are doing and how they're doing it and getting information about that and how that might work for us. The other aspect about that is we've also got Mars going to be moving into Libra. So again, this is a planet that really likes to push as well as a little bit of fire. And what's nice is it's moving into balance because even though Pluto has gone direct, so now they're stationary, it's going to take a while for Pluto to pick up speed. Some of us are really, including myself, chafing on the bit because we know we've started some new programs. We know that they're working and they're on the right way, but they just haven't started yet to get as much traction as we would like. But be very sure that October is definitely traction month. There's going to be a lot happening in the month of October that's going to drive the businesses forward and your careers forward or your project forward, and that's going to be something that's really, really lovely to do. There's two things I want you to be aware about those particular changes, and that is sometimes our Mercury in Scorpio can get a little bit too focused and can get a little bit too almost paranoid, and you're going to keep digging and digging because you're thinking that there's something there. If you're not getting this instinctive questioning about is there something there, is there something under the surface, then don't get stuck into pursuing it. There is a difference between being paranoid and doing all this digging and questioning from a place of fear as opposed from asking other questions and digging from a point of pure curiosity and wanting to know and needing to expand. So just be very clear about what is driving this inquisitiveness and this questioning that you have, and making sure that's coming from a place of positivity, not from a place of fear. Because that's the other thing with Pluto. There's this hidden elements to it because it is fate and destiny, but it doesn't lay all the cards out nicely. Saturn lays everything out so you can see it, but Pluto likes to just keep something a little bit back. And the reason that they like to keep something a little bit back is they don't want you getting in your own way. Asking too many questions or not being willing to move on something is getting in your own way. So be really clear right now about intentions. We're going to be getting some messages about intention, and that's something for us to be able to think about. Likewise, when Mars moves into Libra, this will be a bit of balancing, and everything will be quite balanced, and it'll be quite charming, because remember, it's all about balance and evening things out. So you'll be feeling quite diplomatic. The other aspect that might be a bit of a problem will be passive aggressive. So one of the ways that you might see this passive aggressiveness playing out in the workplace will be lots and lots of questions, which will seem relevant. But the actual reason for these questions is to either make you have self-doubt or to delay something by asking a lot of questions that are not relevant at this time, but demanding that you have the answers. And sometimes you won't have the answers because it's not clear yet, and then you'll be pushed to go and get these answers. So you might see a little bit of that behavior, whether it's coming from people in the meetings or just around you. So just be a little bit clear about that. The other thing to be saying is sometimes it is a time of change, and not everyone responds positively to the change. So you might just want to be aware that some people will be very hesitant about that. On the 8th, you're going to have Venus going to join with Mercury. Venus and Mercury are traveling together at the moment, and that's really, really good. So we're getting lots of messages about value and what we value and how we value. And again, one of the things I want you to be doing, because they are traveling together, and we're going into a delving, questioning, probing time about, does this fulfill me? Is this giving me what I want? Am I happy with all of this? This is great if it's coming from an intent for you to grow, either in your business life or in your career. If it's coming from a place of fear, don't go with that. If it's resonating with you and it brings up something that has been limiting you in the past, then stay with that and have a good look at it and muse over it. Otherwise, I got to tell you, it's a great time to be moving ahead. But with Pluto, there's going to be a bit of faith with that. And that's going to be a little bit at odds with Saturn, that likes to know everything. So that's where you might get this double whammy of really feeling that you need to know everything. You need to know a lot, but you also need to have faith and trust that you know what you're doing. And some of that is just believing in your ability to see things through. Okay, so that's the business challenges and forecast. It's a great time to be in business, but just remember, don't be too impatient if nothing is happening right now. You're going to see movement and traction in October. Just remember, Pluto is a very slow-moving planet. It's almost it is way out there. So the way that it moves compared to Earth is very, very slow. All right, wonderful. Good luck. Don't be too impatient. Trust yourself and feel that lovely opening up of and scoping out of the new direction. Bye-bye.